You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, the Cornell Complex is complete and it's got its grand opening on Saturday, but our very own Yana Atala is giving you a sneak peek at the building before the ribbon is cut.
All right, we'll take you there. Also, we go to Washington, where archaeologists and military retirees team up to ensure there's no man left behind.
And it may not necessarily look chilly on this shot at 36 in range line, but it is chilly and it is not going to be a very warm one today. We'll talk cold temperatures and maybe even some snow flurries coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. On Thursday, Galena High School is treating local veterans to breakfast and performances from the band and choir. They did treat them. For 26 years, Galena has hosted veterans celebrations where students get to meet a local veteran and put on a performance showcasing patriotic music.
Yeah, they're excited about it. It's just such a great opportunity for our kids to give back and also to meet some veterans that will be here. We're expecting 30 to 40 veterans to come back to us this year. And the kids have made posters and they've made videos to honor the veterans.
Students also made posters and flyers to show their support for the local veterans. American Legion Post 13 in Joplin took some time to plant American flags on the graves of veterans at Peace Church Cemetery yesterday.
We should honor our veterans because of the freedoms that they sacrificed. They sacrificed their lives for us. And so it's important that we recognize each person, whether they're living or they're deceased now, and give them thanks for the freedoms that we have today.
You can find more Veterans Day events on our website at koamnewsnow.com/events. The Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex is opening its doors to the public this Saturday. KOAM's Yana Atala learned more about the new complex, and she joins us live from the venue now. Good morning, Yana.
Good morning, Tanya, and thank you very much. We're live here in Joplin at the new complex. Actually, like when you step inside, you come to this nice, very nice spacious space with all the lights. I got the chance to get a tour of this whole building and talk about the importance of this building for the 4 states. The Cornell Complex is ready after a year and a half of building. More than 300 donors contributed to the project. Emily Frankowski, the executive director of Connect to Culture, says this complex can attract national artists to perform. This is also a possibility for younger generation to experience high-level live performances.
So we're partnering with Joplin schools to bus in different classes to get a preview of that evening's performance. It will be a free show. We have the Ignite series, which is for kids and their families. So we have children's theater and children's music. So we're looking forward to providing more opportunities like that.
The complex opens at noon tomorrow with a live ballet performance. They also have a ribbon cutting at 12:20 p.m. Everyone's welcome to join. It's free. I'm live in Joplin, Yana Atala with KOAM News.
All right, thank you so much. And it sounds like it's going to be quite a day tomorrow. All right, thanks, Yana. Well, Missouri organization is providing support to several local organizations. The Missouri Children's Trust Fund announced more than $19 million in grants for 59 Missouri-based organizations. 12 of those agencies are in Southwest Missouri. That includes the Children's Center, Children's Haven, Jasper County CASA, the Rafa House International, and the Alliance of Southwest Missouri.
All of the kids that we're going to get to protect and the families that we're going to impact by these dollars through the building. And so, the building project is exciting in and of itself, but the fact that others, we can't do it alone, the others come alongside us to help invest in that is incredible.
All of the organizations that receive grants work to prevent child abuse and support children in need.
All right, time for us to take a look back on this day in weather history. And on this date back in 1911, boy, something very similar to what happened yesterday happened. An amazing cold front swept through the central United States. Oklahoma City reported a record high of 83 and a record low of 17 in the same day. And And the temperature in Independence, Missouri plunged 50 degrees in just an hour. So wasn't quite that extreme of a drop around here all at once, but it is cold now. A few stray showers still in southwest Missouri, slowly exiting the region. On average, we got about a half inch of rain across the area. Some of us got around an inch, even an inch and a half. Wind gusts this morning upwards of 30 miles an hour. By this afternoon, this evening, it'll be down to about 20 miles an hour. Right now in Joplin, we've got mostly cloudy skies. As you can see, it is cold, 36 degrees, north wind at about 15 miles an hour, making it feel like 27. Temperatures across the area are chilly as well. 31 Neodesha, 32 Parsons, 37 Miami and in Neosho. You factor in the wind, feels like 18 in Yates Center, 20 in Chanute, 31 in Miami and 28 in Neosho. And we are anywhere upwards of 30 to almost 40 degrees colder now than what we were 24 hours ago. We'll have another complete look at your forecast coming up a little later here on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
All right, thanks, Chris. Up next, how mindfulness just might help you with your anxiety.
And later, we'll meet a python whose eyes were way bigger than his stomach. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, a new study estimates respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is responsible for 1 in 50 deaths of children under the age of 5 globally. RSV is a common virus that is currently surging in the U.S. Study was published Thursday in the journal Lancet Respiratory Medicine. It was the first research to examine the number of children with no pre-existing conditions that were hospitalized with RSV. The virus is especially dangerous for premature and medically fragile babies. According to one of the study's co-authors, the vast majority of RSV deaths occur in developing countries. But even in high-income nations, 1 in 56 babies born on time and healthy will be hospitalized with RSV during their first year of life. Well, it's still early in the flu season, but about half of the U.S. is reporting high or very high respiratory illness activity. 22 states, along with Washington, New York City, and Puerto Rico, are seeing cases of flu, RSV, and some COVID-19. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says influenza is contributing a significant proportion of those illnesses. The number of people sick with flu nearly doubled in the last week of October. Cases jumped again in the first week of November. As of November 5th, there's been at least 2.8 million illnesses, 23,000 hospitalizations, and 1,300 deaths from influenza. Americans who deal with severe anxiety may be able to treat their condition without medications. According to a study published Wednesday in JAMA Psychiatry, trusted source, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy and mindfulness-based stress reduction appear to be beneficial for issues like depression. Findings are based on review of data collected last year from nearly 300 people in a clinical trial. There were some limitations to the research. Recruitment was only held in 3 medical centers, and most of the participants were female. Researchers say they don't know why mindfulness appears to help lower anxiety. Well, Americans are being advised to get a COVID-19 booster shot before Thanksgiving. Health officials say they are concerned about a potential surge of respiratory illnesses during the end of the year holiday season and stress the best way to be protected is to be up to date with vaccinations. And despite the push from the White House and others, most Americans have not rolled up their sleeves recently. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says less than 10% of the country has received the latest dose. In addition to a possible rise in COVID-19 cases this winter, government health officials say the flu has already been spreading rapidly in some areas. Here's a list.
We've got another very chilly day ahead of us today. We're going to break down your full forecast when we come back. Quite a doozy. Jeannie Moose reports on what scientists in Florida found when they opened them up.
Scientists at a Florida lab could feel something big inside this dead 18-foot Burmese python, so they cut it open. A necropsy, it's called.
I actually thought it was pretty gross too, and I'm used to necropsies and things.
Rosie Moore was one of the scientists investigating the snake's diet, and look what was on the python's menu: a 5-foot dead but still fairly intact alligator.
Did it smell terrible?
Oh my gosh, we were taking breaks. We were running outside trying to get some fresh air. I've never smelled anything like that.
As one commenter joked, "Congratulations, your python is pregnant with an alligator." Florida encourages people to kill Burmese pythons because they eat so many other species and reproduce rapidly.
You actually call it a python invasion?
Yeah, it's commonly referred to as the python invasion.
The alligator inside the python video on Rosie's Instagram page went viral, and the photos of the scientist looking like a Bond girl in a bikini probably didn't hurt viewership. She models part-time and likes the idea of changing the image of female scientists.
Women in science are always kind of portrayed as like the dorky, nerdy, shy.
Not this woman in science. She dives into her job with passion. The alligator and the snake taught Rosie a new word.
It was compared to a turducken?
Yes, I had to look that up.
Someone suggested should have just cooked the whole thing. Would have been some kind of creepy Cajun version of a turducken.
This is the tur, this is the duck, and this is the inn.
Turkey stuffed with duck and chicken, turducken. So maybe we'll just call this a pie-gator-thon. Not that it's making anyone hungry. Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Wow, that's certainly an impressive last meal for that python there. The fact that he's able to swallow the whole thing and not get attacked himself is amazing. We have a very chilly day for us. You can see we're mostly cloudy across Joplin right now with a little bit of daylight trying to get in there. 36 degrees in Joplin, north wind at 15, making it feel like 27. Cold across the area, 30 in Yates Center, 32 Parsons, 37 Veneta, 35 Miami, 36 Neosho, 37 in Neosho, and once you Monad, goodness. And then once you factor in the wind chill, 18 in Yates Center, 24 in Parsons, 31 Miami, feels like 29 Veneta, and 28 Neosho and Monette have now merged in my brain into the same community for some reason. Temperatures across the area about 40 degrees colder now than what we were 24 hours ago. Not much warming today, 37, mostly cloudy. Maybe an isolated shower or two this evening, most of us dry. We start to clear out a little bit overnight and we get downright chilly, 24 for the overnight low. For the Friday night football forecast, for our last big Friday night football show at least, personal foul weather tonight. We're near freezing, isolated showers are possible. And for the weekend, I don't know why I switched sides. I'm just not with it this morning. I've suddenly fallen asleep in my head. 41 on Saturday, partly cloudy. 49 Sunday, partly cloudy, so at least a little bit warmer this weekend. And the 40s are going to be the average temperature for the next several days. Wintry mix possible on Monday. And then again on Thursday, we're warm in between, near 50, Tuesday and Wednesday. Overnight lows in the 20s to near freezing. And look at the long range, look at this, 17 next Friday night. We get cold after this wintry mix on Thursday, 36 next Friday, 39 by next Saturday. A little bit warmer by next Sunday and a slight chance of some showers in there. But as you can see, we are cold. We are in almost winter mode here in the 4 states. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
It's time to honor today's 4-state hero, Lance Corporal Robert Mendez of the United States Marine Corps. The Webb City native served in Iraq from 2004 to 2006 as part of the Marine Expeditionary Force 1st Battalion MP. To Lance Corporal Robert Mendez, we thank you, today's 4-state hero.
Well, it's an enduring promise spanning generations of service and sacrifice. No one left behind. Commitment of U.S. service members to return their brothers and sisters in arms home.
That vow is on display this Veterans Day as military retirees and archaeologists excavate and return the remains of a World War II Marine. It's a far-reaching journey from a remote battlefield in the middle of the Pacific Ocean to the sacred soil of cemeteries here in America.
Mike Valerio has the story.
This is his steel helmet, totally corroded.
It's a precious relic returned from the sands of what once was a lonely Pacific battlefield.
That's a gold ring.
Possessions from Don and David McCannell's uncle, Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant Arthur Summers, an American hero they never knew.
Do you have any memories from back then of just what your family said about Arthur?
My mother said to me, my brother was killed in Tarawa and his body was never recovered.
For 4 solid hours they pound Tarawa with high explosives.
Tarawa, November 20th, 1943. It was a brutal battle during World War II. American troops confronting Japanese forces on a sandbar the size of the National Mall. It may seem like paradise in the middle of the Pacific, but it's a place replete with the ravages of war. Japanese cannons, bunkers, and stunningly, hundreds of unmarked graves, resting places with the remains of U.S. Marines and sailors killed nearly 80 years ago.
When I said that I'm scarred, this is not a normal thing for somebody to be doing.
Paul Schwimmer is a retired Army reservist and volunteer with the group History Flight. Its work is often solemn and scarring. Veterans and archaeologists digging on Tarawa since 2009 have helped the U.S. government identify at least 96 sets of American remains. Schwimmer remembers the remains of one of the first Marines he found.
And if the kid that was staring me out of that picture was 16 years old, and I had the toughest time the next day.
The remains of Sergeant Summers are among the latest discovered by History Flight. And here in East Wenatchee, Washington, a burial with full military honors for Summers. Killed at 27, his nephews and descendants now proudly looking on. The promise of no one left behind finally fulfilled.
The thing about this that's important is that this is how we bury the dead. We do not leave them in the middle of nowhere. This is the best country in the world. And this is part of it.
In East Wenatchee, Washington, I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
Absolutely love the sound of taps.
And it's a great story too, and that they're fulfilling that mission of no one left behind. Something very important to take care of.
For sure.
For all of our veterans. We have a very, very chilly Veterans Day for us across the 4 states. 7th and Range line, you can see we're still mostly cloudy in Joplin with a little bit of daylight trying to peek in. 36 degrees, feels like 27 with that north wind blowing out there. Temperatures across the area are on the chilly side. 38 Center and Iola, 37 Veneta, 35 Miami, 39 in Grove. And you factor in the wind, feels like 18 in Iola, 29 Veneta, 33 in Miami, and feels like 34 in Grove. We are upwards of almost 40 degrees colder now than what we were 24 hours ago. As we go through today, not a lot of warming expected. Mostly cloudy skies, an isolated shower possible too late this evening. Most of us going to remain dry. Any showers we see should be roughly along and south of I-44. 37 for the high. We are mostly cloudy to start the evening, then we start to clear out. We'll drop back down to a pretty darn chilly 24 degrees. Friday night football tonight, it's going to be cold. We're calling personal foul on the weather here. 32 at kickoff and by the fourth quarter. And again, an isolated shower too possible. The good news is for the weekend, we're a little bit warmer. 41 Saturday, 49 on Sunday. Partly cloudy on both those days. So a pinch on the warmer side and some sunshine getting out there. Now, once we get through the weekend, we have a wintry mix possible by Monday and another chance of some wintry precipitation by next Thursday. We do not break the 40s throughout the rest of the week. With our warmest temperatures at 49 degree readings. Overnight lows for the most part mid to upper 20s, a couple of 30 degree readings on there. And then take a look even beyond Thursday. This wintry mix drops our temperatures into the 30s for next Friday and Saturday, warming up a bit by next Sunday for some showers. And look at these overnight lows, especially next Friday night, dropping down to 17. Absolutely frigid outside. And as you can see on the long range forecast, there's really no warming in sight. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:28. The Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex is opening its doors to the public this Saturday. That's tomorrow. And KOAM's Yana Tula learned more about the new complex. She joins us live now from the venue. Good morning, Yana.
Good morning, Tanya, and thank you. We're live here in Joplin at the new Cornell Complex. We're in front of it, as you can see. Earlier this week, I got a chance to have a tour inside this complex, and I got to talk with the officials about the importance of this complex for the 4 states. entertainment complex is finished and ready to welcome visitors.
They will see the Beachshore Performance Hall, the Leggett and Platt Green, all of Spiva Center for the Arts' new galleries, the beautiful lobby space, welcome desk and gift shop, and they'll just see this beacon of the arts for Joplin.
Emily Frankowski says it took over a decade of passion and work to make it a reality. More than 300 donors contributed to the project. The crew is excited about the holiday season shows in the performance hall on the first floor.
We're looking forward to growing massively. I mean, we used to have 4 to 6 performances each year, and then we're growing that to over 16, so that's a huge jump.
Frankowski says they want to work with schools to allow students to attend previews for shows.
Some of those kids will never have that experience or will never have had it, so to be able to provide it for them free of charge and just have them not have to travel far away to a different state even to experience that is such a blessing.
In addition to local artwork, the Art Center will also display other pieces on the second floor.
We can bring in, national shows. We can look at the quality of the shows with the lighting systems and the humidity control. It allows us to bring really delicate art in that maybe we hadn't had the opportunity to do before in an older historic building.
The third floor includes classrooms.
Community partners and teachers that come in and teach our classes, both to elementary aged kids and all the way up through adults, so anybody can participate.
The green space outside holds about 1,500 people.
We'll be able to bring in outdoor concerts, we'll have outdoor events out there. Our Out on Tap event, which is a very large event with home brewers, will just increase in size.
Having a complex like this in Joplin is beneficial for the area, as complex leaders hope to attract national artists to perform.
Oftentimes they're going from Kansas City maybe to Tulsa, and we're just right on the route, and so any opportunity for them to add more performances to where they're going just secures more income for them and fuels their passion of performing.
The complex will open tomorrow at noon with a ballet performance. They also have a ribbon cutting at 12:20 p.m. Everyone is welcome to join and it's free. Live in Joplin, I'm Jana Hautala with KOAM News.
And I have to ask you, Jana, you've been inside the complex and taken a tour of it. Which room or which part of it do you find the most fascinating?
I really like the auditorium, the performance hall. It is very nice with all the lights on. So I bet tomorrow when people come here, they will really enjoy what they see. All the 3 floors and the backyard too, the backside with the green space.
Oh yeah, that was impressive. All right, thanks, Jana. You can find a link to the schedule of events on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. On Thursday, Galena High School treated local veterans to breakfast and performances from the band and choir. For 26 years, Galena has hosted veterans celebrations where students get to meet a local veteran and put on a performance showcasing patriotic music.
Yeah, they're excited about it. It's just such a great opportunity for our kids to give back and also to meet some veterans that will be here. We're expecting 30 to 40 veterans to come back to us this year. And the kids have made posters and they've made videos to honor the veterans.
All right, and we would also like to announce that Galena High School will be hosting breakfast for veterans at Columbus High School, that was the Galena. Columbus High School will be hosting breakfast for veterans at 8:15 this morning with a program for them at 8:45. All right, the American Legion Post 13 in Joplin also took the time to honor veterans on Thursday. Volunteers with the post took time to plant American flags on the graves of veterans at Peace Church Cemetery.
This today, that we want to honor everybody that's in the military, regardless of whether they're serving today or they've passed on, which is the ones we're going to honor today here, is the ones that have passed on, and they give their lives. Maybe not necessarily in battle, but they give their lives because they served.
Lots of area businesses are offering discounts to veterans today, and you can find a list of some of those on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, this morning we're discussing veteran homelessness.
From tent to tent in the nation's capital, in the shadow of the grandeur of Union Station, Navy veteran Hector Lugo, who was once homeless himself, has a mission: searching for fellow vets who survive without a home.
U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs says it's on track to meet its goal of housing 38,000 veterans this calendar year. There's a greater emphasis now on giving homeless vets a place to live first, rather than waiting for long-term treatment to be finished for possible substance abuse or mental health issues.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. Do you feel that the government does a good job at handling veteran homelessness? So far, 7% of you say yes, and 93% of you say they do not. You can still vote through our website, through the app, and of course take part in discussion on our Facebook page. Right now, we've still got a few stray showers trying to exit the region in southwest Missouri. On average, we picked up about half an inch of rain, but some of us got a little more, around an inch, even an inch and a half. Gusty winds this morning pushing 30 miles an hour, and by this afternoon and this evening, they'll still be gusty, but not as strong, pushing around 20 miles an hour. 7th and range line, you can see some daylight trying to get in out there. We're otherwise mostly cloudy. 36, that north breeze at 15, making it feel like 27. Temperatures across the area also on the chilly side. 32 Chanute and Parsons, 35 in Miami, 39 Grove, 36 Neosho, and in 37 in Monette. With the wind, 18 in Yates Center, Iola, 20 Chanute, 33 is what it feels like in Miami, 25 Neosho, it feels like 20 in Monette. We are upwards of almost 40 degrees colder now than what we were 24 hours ago. As we go through today, we're looking at a high of only about 37 degrees, mostly cloudy, maybe an isolated shower or two south of I-44 this evening, otherwise most of us dry. Tonight, the clouds will eventually start to clear out, but we are cold, dropping back down to a low of 24 degrees. And a look at the 7-day forecast, we warm up through the weekend a little bit. 40s, 41 Saturday, 49 Sunday, partly cloudy. Wintry mix possible on Monday, and another wintry mix possible by next Thursday. Temperatures do not get out of the 40s for the next several days. Overnight lows are in the mid to upper 20s with a couple of 31-degree readings in there as well. We're back with a lot more after this, but first, here's another live look from the Harry M. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex.
Welcome back. It's time to close out the week with our own Shannon Becker and his big 3 stories. And welcome back.
Hello, ma'am. Let's take a look at it. This week, our most talked about stories on the web and most shared as well, KOAM News Now. The couple from Pineville charged with kidnapping with the intent to kill of a woman from Northwest Arkansas. They are alleged to have kidnapped this woman, cut out the baby to claim as the wife's own. Now, Northwest Arkansas say they want to charge her with capital murder. She's charged in federal court in Missouri, in the Western District of Missouri, but Arkansas wants her back for them. So they'll have court hearings coming up. I think the 21st will be the next court hearing. Capital murder, the prosecutor in Northwest Arkansas says it will carry the death penalty. Our number 2 story. Yesterday, the walls came down. Isn't that a song or something like that? Maybe we should write it. We could get rich. The walls of the former Mojo Burger. Look how they take out this big window there on the west side.
Oh, I feel like they could have saved that for something.
Look at that.
Ugh.
Boom. I'm
Man.
8 years old. That is so crazy. Tearing stuff up. I love it. Well, the great thing is it's progress. It's changed. It's sat empty for about 2.5 years.
It's a great location, too.
Yes.
So we've heard there's plans, but nothing
they're
releasing yet.
I can't confirm it, but I know some people close to the company that's actually going to be there, and it'll be a drive-through location, so we'll have a lobby. It's interesting. You have to read more on our story, KOAM News Now.
Okay.
And then our number 1 story, 5-car pileup on 32nd Street. I've not seen something like this before. 2 of the vehicles could be driven away. Joplin Police Department marked it for a crash scene. And look at that vehicle there, a child in the back seat, flown critical.
The maroon vehicle, correct?
Yes.
And that is a minivan, or was a minivan.
Yeah, so it's hard to recognize even what it was. It was a Santa Fe, I believe. So child was flown critical to another hospital, another town for a higher level of care. And I understand overnight, child is now off the ventilator and is doing much better and hopefully will recover. Our bonus story of the week. Today at noon, the Vietnam and Korean Memorial at Joplin Memorial Hall has a new name, the Vietnam list. Lawrence McCrae graduated Joplin High School in 1965, and his classmates noticed that he wasn't on that permanent memorial. It was placed in 1973, not sure why it was oversight. He's on the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. Lawrence McCrae will be honored today at noon for his sacrifice during the Vietnam conflict. That's really neat. Quality Memorials was there.
Glad you were there to get that
I mean,
video
it was
of them
really,
doing
really
that.
great. We have our tipsters who tell us what's happening and stuff, and it was really a neat moment. And today it will be also. Hopefully we'll be able to be there and catch that for you, everybody. That's our big three in the bonus. KOAM News Now and Joplin News First, live and out and about.
We love having you with us, and we love having you in on Fridays to recap these stories.
Thank you. I love it.
Enlighten us on the updates.
Yeah.
Because there's, once the story's online, that we continue to update
Yeah.
those and follow them. And
But we don't always do that on the air.
yeah.
But for sure.
So be sure to keep following. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back.
Well, we've got a pretty chilly day for us today. Right now, 7th and Range Line, we are mostly cloudy with a little bit of daylight trying to peek through. 36 in Joplin, north wind of 15, making it feel like 27. Chilly across the area as well. 31 Neodesha, 32 Parsons, 35 Miami, 36 Neosho, and 35 in Carthage. You factor in the wind, feels like 20 in Chanute, 23 in Parsons, 33 Miami, and it feels like 25 Neosho. So pretty chilly. We're upwards of 40 degrees colder today than we were 24 hours ago. And we're not going to do a lot of warming as we only make it to 37 under mostly cloudy skies today. Isolated shower or two possible late this evening along and south of I-44. Most of us will remain dry. We start to clear out overnight. Temperatures drop back down to 24 degrees. So a very cold night for us. Look at the 7-day. Warming up through the weekend. 41 Saturday, 49 on Sunday, partly cloudy. Wintry mix is possible on Monday, and another wintry mix is possible on Thursday as well. In between that, though, you can see where lows stay in the mid to upper 20s for the most part. We got a couple of 31-degree readings in there, but otherwise, we are downright chilly across the area for the next several days. Well, the latest consumer price index shows the U.S. inflation rate is up 7.7% compared to 1 year ago. Year over year, that's the smallest increase since January. Separate report released Thursday by Adobe Analytics showed that online prices fell in October for clothing, electronics, toys, and sporting goods, but continued to rise for groceries and other essentials. President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan was dealt another blow Thursday when a federal judge in Texas blocked it as unlawful. The White House says more than half of the 26 million applicants received so far have been approved for relief of up to $20,000. Department of Justice says it will appeal the decision. The measure was already on hold after the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals issued a temporary stay last month. And a warning to parents of young children: nearly 150,000 Mockingbird strollers purchased online or at Target stores in the last couple of years are being recalled. Consumer Product Safety Commission says the lower end of the frame can crack, causing a child inside the stroller to fall. At least 8 children have been injured. The company will provide a fix for free. We'll be back with a lot more right after this, but first, why don't we take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. Veterans Day, many of us look for ways to honor our nation's veterans. For Highlands High School junior Wesley Westerman, the answer came in the form of turkeys. Kim Gable reports.
Over the past couple of years, Wesley Westerman has come to a realization. He's going to need a bigger freezer. The Highlands High School junior single-handedly started a turkey drive back in 2018 when he was just 13 years old. Now, with the help of 2 motorcycle clubs, the VFW, and his family,
we are busy, yes.
It's grown into an impressive mission to show appreciation to local veterans.
Hey, what's up, brother? It's something that they don't get a lot. Like, they don't get the recognition that they need for helping us out and giving us, like, the freedom that we have nowadays.
As a mom with a teenager who has this in his heart, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel proud. I didn't think he was going to do it anymore, but I said, do you want to do the turkeys? And he's like, yes, we have to do the turkeys.
Over 200 turkeys this year, along with all the fixins, too.
When these local veterans find out that a 17-year-old young leader in their community is doing these incredible things, what kind of reaction do you get?
They're just astonished. I mean, they don't understand that the young people, they do want to help. We just don't know how. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that need it.
And now some of the vets themselves are paying it forward, helping fellow heroes who served.
A couple people I went to school with, I hang out with, veterans and everything else like that. Last year he was hurting real bad. He got hurt at work and everything. and I told him about it, so I ended up getting one for them and taking it over to his house. It's really nice, and then I probably got 1 or 2 other people, so yeah.
So you're spreading the word too?
Oh yeah, always, always.
I just want it to keep going. I want other people within the community to start realizing that we need to get this bigger and start expanding. I mean, PA is a big state. I mean, we could definitely help out a lot of veterans.
I love it, man. You help us out a lot.
And a big advantage when it comes to delivery time? Wes has his driver's license this year.
Certainly an interesting mission and an important mission. Today in the area, we're going to be absolutely chilly. We are mostly cloudy in Joplin, some daylight trying to peek out, but we won't see much of it. 36 right now, north wind to 15, making it feel like it is 27. Temperatures across the area also downright chilly to cold. 38 Center, 32 Parsons, 37 Veneta, 36 Neosho, and 33 in Lamar. You factor in the wind chill, feels like 18 in Yates Center, 29 in Veneta, 25 Neosho, and it feels like 23 in Lamar. And we are upwards of almost 40 degrees colder now than we were 24 hours ago. And we won't do a lot of warming today. Mostly cloudy, an afternoon high of only 37. We could see an isolated shower or two this evening along and south of I-44. I think most of us will stay dry. These will be very isolated if we even see a shower at all. Otherwise, as you can see, it gets cold. And as the skies start to clear out tonight, it gets even colder. 24 for the overnight low, but at least we'll start to see some stars later this evening. Friday night football for tonight. We are calling personal foul on the weather because it is going to be cold. 32 at the start of the game and 32 by fourth quarter with maybe again an isolated shower, most of us remaining dry. Weekend forecast looking all right, a little warmer at least. 41 Saturday, partly cloudy, 49 Sunday and partly cloudy. So we'll get some sunshine in here, which we absolutely will want to see after today because boy, it just feels and looks like winter right now. All right, we get to the weekend. A wintry mix possible on Monday, another wintry mix possible on Thursday. We don't get out of the 40s this week. Overnight lows in the upper 20s to lower 30s in some cases. And we look at the long-range forecast after this wintry mix, 36 on Friday, 39 on Saturday, 45 by next Sunday, maybe some rain. And look at these lows, especially next Friday night, down to 17 degrees. Absolutely frigid outside. And as you can see, winter has certainly found the 4 states because I want to remind you, these afternoon highs are just a few degrees above what our actual lows should be for this time of year. So chilly for sure. And we could even set a record or two at some point in the next several days. We've got more of the KOAM Morning News coming right up.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. 3 days after the midterm elections, votes are still being counted with control of Congress hanging in the balance. The Senate races in Nevada and Arizona are still undecided, while in Georgia, the 2 candidates are back on the campaign trail with a runoff election next month. CBS News rates the House of Representatives as lean Republican as the GOP inches closer to the magic number 218. Dozens of buildings in Daytona Beach shores, Florida, are at risk of imminent collapse after Hurricane Nicole caused major beach erosion. Officials have evacuated hundreds of residents and cannot say when or if they will be allowed back into their homes. The storm is moving north and is expected to bring up to 6 inches of rain to parts of the Appalachian Mountains. And today marks America's 103rd observance of Veterans Day, originally known as Armistice Day, which began exactly 1 year after the Germans surrendered in World War I. With President Joe Biden out of the country, Vice President Kamala Harris will deliver remarks at Arlington Cemetery and lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
Very chilly day for us today, high of only about 37 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, an isolated shower or two possible this evening, mostly along and south of I-44, and that's assuming we see a shower at all. It's a pretty low chance, but it's a chance. 24 for the overnight low. Skies will eventually begin to clear out. Look at the 7-day forecast. Take a look at the weekend. We warm up a bit, 41 Saturday, 49 on Sunday, partly cloudy both days. Overnight lows drop back into the mid to upper 20s and even some low 30s on there. Wintry mix possible Monday and another wintry mix possible by Thursday. As you can see, we do not make it out of the 40s for the next several days.
Well, as we've talked about all morning long, today is Veterans Day, a chance to remember, salute, and show gratitude for those who have served in the armed forces.
Veterans Day is celebrated every year on November 11th, the anniversary of the end of World War I more than a century ago.
It began as Armistice Day with President Woodrow Wilson signing the proclamation for it in 1919.
In 1954, it became Veterans Day. It is separate from Memorial Day, which honors those who have died serving in the military. Of course, both days, very important days, and it's important to remember and recognize our veterans and those currently serving every day, because we're here doing what we do because of those folks who go out and protect our freedom to do what we do every day.
And there are a lot of Veterans Day remembrance celebrations and events across the four-state area, and we'll be covering those and bringing you the latest on KOAM News at 5 and 6 and today at noon.
And of course, we've got a full list of all that, plus a lot of businesses offering discounts for veterans. You can find all that information at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your Friday morning. We're going to be back with more news and weather, as Tanya said, today at noon.
That's right. Have a great morning and an even better weekend.